How shit are the Ramones?
I don't know, Ellie. I mean, the only thing I know about the Ramones is they're all tall and skinny. They had like lampshade hairdos. They were like Diet Coke punk, as in not real punk. Punk obviously was like, Sex Pistols in the late 70s London scene. Bruno Wizard, which was the icons of that, who was going to be on my show hopefully tomorrow. Questionable. But the only thing I remember is I want to be elected, right? Or affected.
I want to be sedated.
That's the one. See, I'm a big fan.
You must know the Blitzkrieg Bop. Blitzkrieg Bop. We're going through it. It's by my face.
Not close enough.
It's on my face.
You can turn it anywhere, Ellie. The mic's...
I don't know how to speak into a microphone properly.
Perfect. That's great.
But yeah, Ramones, never, ever. And I'm a big music fan. I even got into punk. Love the Sex Pistols, Crass, Clash, all that stuff. Ramones, it is the wettest. It's not even punk. I think the issue is they were American, and I don't think Americans really got punk. Punk was like a UK thing. It was like a British thing. It was the Sex Pistols. So I think that Ramones were always a bit too kind of...
By the same token...
They're quite poppy. But everyone's like, oh, the Ramones. And you see all these like really hot girls wearing Ramones
Why are we talking about the Ramones,
t-shirts.
by the way?
Because the Ramones is actually featured in this 2 minutes.
That's right. It's 2-Minute Terminator, episode 16. I will put my glasses on. Well, what's the point in living? We're going from minutes 30 to 32, the 2 minutes bridging that gap. And before I say hit the music, Ellie, I think Billy Idol experienced the same problem because he was part of Generation X, a punk group, and he was kind of part of the scene. And then when he kind of came to America, he had real trouble. I think for a good 2 or 3 years, really, kind of gigging and stuff, and nothing really ever taking off until he became a VH1 VJ. I want my MTV. And then at that point, what's the dancing one? What's the
Dancing by Myself.
Yeah, there's a 20-minute remix of that, and that's what kind of launched his career. No, that's a good one. Generation X. No, it's good. I like that.
Dancing by Myself, it's not my favourite.
Well, speaking of music...
hit it.
Yeah, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger to me.
Load up.
You didn't do the fourth.
Thank God. It sucked.
Yes, we're back. Hello, we are the 2-Minute Terminator, where we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. Ellie's had a brief non-Terminator sojourn. We got it in the start of the show, so we can get back down to business, and you fell for it. It's minutes 16, or episode 16. We're going from minutes 30 to 32, the 2 minutes bridging that gap. And it starts basically with Sarah Connor explaining... Ow.
What's the golden rule? It's okay when it's in a three-way.
You're being emotional, Arnold says at the start of the clip, and then he's basically given a machine-like robot dad dressing down. Robot dad. Nice, I like that. And it ends with Jai Courtney mid-sentence, and he gets cut off.
Dobot.
There were the GoBots who were the fake Transformers.
Well, I'll say Dobot's like a dad robot.
Do you want to call yourself Dad Robot? The kids can call you Dobo.
Have you done the bookends?
Yes.
Good. I'm surprised the feminists didn't go after Arnold Schwarzenegger for that exact opening line.
Why?
You're acting on emotion, you're being irrational.
Well, I think feminism to some degree now has kind of lost its way completely because a lot of people are confused as to what feminism actually is now.
No, but what I mean is the feminists. I mean, we've just seen a video of a man coughing near a woman in the street. She's like, did you just cough at me? Do you want to tell me your name?
Well, no, they're people...
Did you just cough at me?
They're people just being deliberately inflammatory to kind of...
I know, but that's my point. It's like that guy that landed a satellite on a moving comet and he got up there in a shirt that had pin-ups on it that was made by a female designer. And the feminists saw it and threw up such a big fuss, created such a... whirlwind on the internet. The man was made to officially apologise, literally up on a podium, And didn't he have like some award stripped from him or something?
Yeah,
or because he wore a shirt that was designed
However,
by a
as
woman.
you've seen in all the feminist cringe videos, as soon as someone pushes back, not physically,
Oh,
but
they
just
crumble.
goes, shut the fuck up, they crumble. If he'd have gone kiss my ass and landed something on the moon, a comet, sorry, go fuck yourselves.
It's the first time it's to land a satellite on a moving comet. What woman has done that? But that's what I mean. They will flare up at the smallest things. So the first thing I thought was angry feminazis when Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "Oh, you're being irrational. You're acting on emotion." I was like, triggered.
Well, people wouldn't notice a thing like that, would they? Because I imagine a lot of women didn't go to see Terminator Genesis, even though it's got, I guess, a strong female lead. Weirdly, if we're going to talk about feminist cinema, I don't understand sometimes when
It's
there
almost
are...
like the cock-up sound or what it should be. That is it. Bing.
I don't understand sometimes when they talk about feminist cinema and they leave out people like Ripley and Sarah Connor. I mean, sometimes...
I know, they don't even make those ladies hot. They're just badass. Vasquez in Aliens.
Well, the complaint... There's been a new thing about Vasquez complaining that...
What, they made her too manly?
No. Cultural reappropriation, because James Cameron obviously cast Jeanette Goldstein, who's like not Hispanic or kind of like Mexican or like like any person from the kind of
Latin American family.
that's the word I was trying to think. The Latin American family.
Yeah.
She had brown contact lenses in and like fake tan, so she was playing someone Latin American. Actually, she wasn't, and they went mad because of it. Saying
Okay,
it was
so then
cultural
you could
reappropriation.
say that the fact that, let's keep it to Terminator, that Christian Bale put on an American accent when actually he's not American, he's English.
This is true.
It's just utter ridiculousness. It's just insane. This world is just going to implode on itself.
That's right, American listeners. All your heroes are being played by Australians or English people.
Yeah, but America steals all our history to make movies out of it.
Yeah, Wolverine's Canadian, relax. It's not one of yours anyway.
Wolverine also massively skipped leg day. Why was Hugh Jackman cast as Wolverine? I think he's terrible. Hugh Jackman has the weakest presence, the weakest face. He's meant to be bloody
I will
Wolverine.
say this of him. I think more than any other actor that's played an iconic role, he's committed to it to the nth degree.
Have you seen the guy's calves?
I know, but
That's not commitment.
I know, but in the films he works out so he does at least look like a giant superhero. My only problem with Hugh Jackman is when he initially got the role of Wolverine, he said, I'm going to be channeling like Mad Max and like who else did he say, other tough guy parts, Dirty Harry and stuff, Clint Eastwood type
If
roles.
you're expecting a tough guy, you're gonna be good.
And the only thing with Hugh Jackman is he doesn't have that kind of like short fuse, this guy could go off at any minute and just like kill everyone in the room. He doesn't have that danger. The very thing that I guess Mel Gibson has
I was about to say he doesn't have the Gibson eyes.
in Lethal Weapon and obviously Mad
Dude,
Max.
just any day.
He doesn't
Just
have...
look at Gibson, he's a man on the edge.
Well, I think if you were going to cast Wolverine, and he's got a metal skeleton, so it's kind of Terminator. Mel Gibson would have been, I think, perfect back in the late 80s. That's
Especially
Wolverine.
with the stripe in his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did look amazing.
The what?
That is someone that actually you have completely changed my mind about. What, am I meant to lower my voice a bit now?
No, just...
Dude, if it goes any closer to my face, I'll be sucking it. Literally. And that's not a euphemism.
Well, you're in a...
And also, this really isn't very comfortable. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
I never really had an opinion of him. I actually know.
You only like him now because he's crazy Mel.
No. I had a negative
are
opinion
gonna
of
come
him
to
because he
Terminator in a
hates
second,
the
by the way,
English. He does hate the English, and anyone that hates the English, I have a massive issue with because I am English.
You're not English.
Yes, I am.
You're an immigrant. You're a blend of Anglo-Saxon and Roman and God knows what.
Yeah, but I've been here for like the last however many thousands of years.
Oh God, here we go.
You're Welsh.
Well, it doesn't bother me where I'm from. Like,
Matthew Evans.
no one really should be kind of...
Ethan, you're not from anywhere. You don't really belong.
I know. And you know what?
I like
Give a
it.
fuck.
It's not you saying yesterday when you were like, I've got nothing.
This scene, Ellie, this is basically Mr. Exposition scene. Arnold explains the whys and the wherefores and do you mind if I don't to young Joe Courtney. We did mention in the last episode that Emilia Clarke mentions when he goes, he doesn't kill people. Wow, he does a lot of leg wounds. This is actually the scene that is in. I think they've done a moving Photoshop pass on Arnold in this clip because he's meant to look a yacht. I think he's meant to be his age in the 2017 portion of the film, but in this I think they've kind of de-aged him a little bit. He's got a slight shimmer and sheen to
But
his.
he actually looks older.
What? Because they're trying to cover it up.
When you get guys, when you get old guys trying to look younger by dyeing their hair, purely by dyeing their hair, they look older. It's just like, just go with it, man.
Well, he's not dyeing his hair in this. He's actually wearing a wig because he's like Arnold's got quite fine and thin hair.
All right, you're being pedantic, but he's got different hair.
Oh, and we did discuss this in the last scene, Ellie, that we did ask in the trailer when he smiles, he goes, "Whoosh."
And it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, it's about to happen
Watch
now.
this.
Let's.
Ellie, it's not worth it. Dude, that mic won't work on that.
I tried to get the sound in the microphone, and Ethan just looked at me like I was an absolute tool. Oh God. Okay, cool. So that was my first note. What I thought what Sarah Connor was saying was actually pretty futile. She knows that there is a set path that she has to follow, and she's like, it'd be nice if I could make changes for myself once in a while. It's just like, actually, you are speaking like an irrational woman because you don't live a normal life. You never will. You never have. You're fucking a robot. You can't make your own decisions. And what is it Patrice says about women that make their own decisions?
I don't know. Are they happy?
Patrice.
Oh, if you don't give woman direction, she gives herself direction.
Do you listen to what I say?
Yes.
It's alright, we'll listen back to the show.
In the second trailer where the Terminator meets Kyle Reese, as you just said earlier, he goes, "Nice to meet you." As he makes the big funny smile, Sarah states that she had been teaching the Terminator to blend in. The scene was written as a nod to the scene which was cut from Terminator 2, 1991.
At the gas station.
Where John teaches the Terminator to smile so he can be more human and blend in. The Terminator imitates a man talking on the phone, but the smile is imperfect and crooked, and John insists that the Terminator should try practicing in a mirror. This scene can be found when watching the Blu-ray Skynet edition Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I think that we've just been bamboozled into giving a weird advert for the Terminator 2 DVD. Again, we see in the back of the truck the Terminator, which the dead T-800 that Sarah dispatched in earlier 2 scenes back is wrapped in plastic in the back of his truck. He's missing his nose and also looks like he's in mid-coitus. It's wrong, of course, because his nose wasn't missing. It's not missing in the previous scene, and it's not missing in the coming scenes where the character.
It just looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger fell into the monkey pen at the zoo, and he's just had his face ripped off. It looks really scary.
Well, he always goes back to that frown as well.
I know.
He goes,
why does he have to frown? Frowning gives you wrinkles, Arnie. I don't like the effects of the metal on his face. I think it looks really fake. I think the skin should be thicker. I think you should see more skin before you see metal. Am I speaking to the microphone okay?
Yeah, it's fine. No, I was just looking at your skin, trying to imagine how thin the skin would be, in fact, to rip off. Because, there would be tissue under the metal.
Yeah.
And you can cut yourself pretty deep without ever seeing your bones.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
you'd have to really go some.
You know what? It's a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, but Ethan, that's why we do this podcast. We're meant to pull it apart.
I was programmed to protect Sarah Connor.
They've actually got something wrong in this. Well, I think they've got something wrong in this, so I'm going to label this my own cock up.
Bing!
Boing! Changing it.
I never get the noise.
Yeah, so we see Jai on the floor of the van, and he goes back into his memory, and he sees the house, and it's all raining, and it's all nice, and we think, oh, so it is his memory. At the very beginning of the film, it's Jai Courtney who is narrating, and he says, this is what the Earth was like, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. I was born after the war.
I was going to say the same thing.
So how come he has all these memories? This does not look like a war scenario. This looks rather peaceful and tranquil, and he's having a nice birthday, and he's getting gifts, and
also
there's a swing on the tree
I haven't had
outside.
time to actually check it, but is that the same boy that's in the future part of the film as well?
Yeah.
Oh, it is the same boy.
Yeah, it's the same kid.
Yeah, because he says he grew up after the war, so he didn't know any of this.
Exactly.
So when Michael Biehn
cock
arrives
up.
in 1984, it shocks the systems to the world. In fact, there's a cut scene with Michael Biehn and Linda Hamilton just after the sewer scene in Terminator 1, where he kind of cries, saying the world's so like beautiful, he can't believe it's like this, and it's all gone to nothing and been exploded.
That's another issue that I
Nice
had
to meet
with
you.
the music, which is why that was how I opened the show. One, because it's
Was that
people are like, oh, the Ramones are great. They're not. Don't believe the hype.
Well,
if
forget-
something's hyped, don't believe it.
I know, but was the Ramones? Even they sung though to be used now. Why was it used then?
I don't know.
Does it relate to the Terminator somehow? What are the lyrics of the title of the
I
song?
want to be sedated. It's got nothing. It's not relevant.
Is it because Giles is sedated and lying on the floor? 'Cause he's been
Well,
knocked
yeah,
out?
but he's not sedated. If you sedate someone, you
It's
inject
pre
them with
1984
a-
though, isn't it? Because this is set in 1984. This scene.
Well, this
So
is the point I wanted to make.
why is it not playing Ghostbusters?
This is the
or
point I wanted to make.
Sly Fox, Let's Go All the Way.
This is the point I wanted
76.
to make. Why they're playing Ramones? Because Ramones was 70s. Sarah Connor was a young girl in the 80s, and Pops kidnapped her when she... Well, not kidnapped her, but saved her when she was 9 years old. So what, did Pops play the Ramones to her? How would she have even been exposed to that kind of music? She's not exactly gone to school. She's not exactly hung out with kids her own
Well,
age.
listen to this then, Ellie. The Terminator, Pops, saves 9-year-old Sarah Connor in 1973. So that means she's born in 64.
Damn it.
That means in 84, she's meant to be 20.
Well, then this timeline is even more screwed.
Well, the Linda Hamilton character, I think, is meant to be 27, I think, in the first one.
No.
She's not 19. That's
No,
what this is essentially making her out to be. She's 19 or 20. Terminator Pops saves 9-year-old Sarah Connor in 1973, so she's born in 64. Lena Headey, Emilia Clarke's Game of Thrones co-star, who played Sarah Connor in the TV series The Sarah Connor Chronicles, was born in 1973. That's just an addendum, but like the whole point is Sarah Connor in this is meant to be born in 1964. This is set. This portion of the film is 1984. That means she's 20. I suppose she looks 20, but it doesn't. But again,
I just
an
didn't.
apologist.
I just didn't
This is an
understand.
alternate timeline, isn't it?
I just didn't understand why they chose Ramones on like a tape play. I don't know. It was a weird inclusion. There was no relevance to it. At least with Terminator 2, Guns N' Roses.
The other
You
thing
Could
is,
Be Mine. That was relevant.
if we are going from the film lore, and we are going with the fact that the Terminator that went through time that Kyle Reese is chasing is a brand new Terminator that they've not really seen yet, Kyle Reese wouldn't have recognised Arnold as a Terminator. So when he sees Arnold and goes, Terminator, and shoots him, he wouldn't know to do that because he's never seen the Arnold model of Terminator. He's seen the baldy looking thing. The guy looks like Arnold Vosloo from The Mummy at the start of the film. And if you're going from the 1984 Terminator, unless Franco Columbo is playing an Arnold type, and they just couldn't get Arnold for that day to be there for the silhouette, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing one scene. I think the intonation is there's lots of different Terminators. I think the only idea that this manufactured type of car, a BMW, a Volkswagen, but the Terminator version being a T800, they've got the Arnold skin on. There's like a whole like factory line of them. That was introduced in Terminator 2.
Mm.
So technically, Jai Courtney, he shouldn't know that Arnold is the Terminator, therefore not attack him.
Yeah, how do you even know what he looks like? But I guess the fact that he's got metal coming out of his face is a bit of a giveaway.
I think we're going to come to it. I'm going to look this up because even though that's meant to be Kyle Reese when he was a kid, I swear there's a flash forward or flash back further in this film when Sarah Connor is talking to that young boy.
But I think that's because she time travels.
But the only
So she goes back in time, tells him and says, you need to repeat this to me when I'm however old. And that's why he keeps having this weird dream. I do remember that. They go all over time in this film.
They only go forward in time once to 2017 or 2060 when they appear in the middle of the freeway.
I know, but
and Pops
for
is
Carl
there
to be a
waiting for
child,
him.
they'd have to go back in time, not forward.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just there's a lot of, even though it's a simple film, there's still things that bewilder
It's
me.
because it's the timeline, dude. Because there's been so many films and they've cocked it up on every single film. It's now just this huge mess. It's like spaghetti. It's just like nothing really follows a circuit. I don't understand why they give Sarah such an attitude.
When she's like, oh, they're saving people's lives, the life and death situation. Thanks that we were shooting each other.
I just don't understand. Like, he's come. Okay,
This is
and
your
the way she
potential
goes,
suitor.
and then she goes, I don't need to be saved. Sarah that you traveled across time to save, she's gone. It's like she's reveling in the fact that I don't know.
She's laughing at Linda Hamilton across the time streams.
Yeah, and I don't like that. Linda's twice the woman you'll ever be, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought the attitude was... I said it in the last episode. It's really petulant child. It makes me really dislike her. I think that's maybe why I didn't like her in this film.
She wasn't a strong woman. She was all front and...
She's like a sassy... Do you know what? My actual...
sassy black chick.
Almost. My actual comment
worse,
was
sassy
she's like...
white chick.
No, I was like, she's like Saskia, but with a cause. She is.
That's someone we both know, listeners. Who's a little bit like
I don't
Sarah.
know her. I've met her.
48.
But yeah, I don't know. Drop the attitude. You're all there to do the same thing.
James Cameron gave this wrinkle to the story when Arnold was like, I don't know if I could play the Terminator anymore. And he's like, well, theoretically, the skin on the Terminator is normal living tissue, so it should age like a regular person. So that was added. That kind of thing is really from Cameron, which is the thing that allowed Arnold to keep returning to the role. Whether you think he should have returned to the role since Terminator 2 is entirely up to you, listeners, and please keep it deep in your hearts. Just
have you noticed
turn it into an ulcer.
Have you noticed that when Arnie says Kyle Reese, he can't say Kyle properly? It sounds like he says colour. Hello, Kyle Reese. Kyle Reese. It's like,
Carlo Ease.
It's like, dude, it's Kyle. And then we get the silly zzz when he smiles. Don't like that, but I love that line.
Why?
I really like that.
Should the Terminator have got offended though?
Old, not obsolete. I like that.
Because Arnie's kind of saying it about himself.
Yeah, but I like that. I think that should be his new catchphrase.
Do you think Arnold at this point...
I'm old, but not obsolete. It's like you, babe.
Thanks. Ellie, have you got any more things to add?
No, I'm done with all the things.
Well, yeah, well, I've got a cock up.
Cock up. Boom.
But it's for the next episode, so I'll say what's then.
Oh, you little tease.
We shall return shortly with, tomorrow actually, with episode 17 minutes 32 to 34.
Can I say one last thing? On this flashback, if I was a kid and I got a countdown for my birthday, I would be pissed.
Why?
I'd be like, you got me a stopwatch.
Well, it's a bit like the early bird boxes in the 70s when Star Wars came out, your favourite film. There was like demand because they didn't expect Star Wars to be such a massive hit. They didn't make
Ellie Sol just left the room.
They didn't make any action figures for it. So if you wanted action figures for the following summer, I think, or Christmas, you bought a thing called the early bird box.
Okay.
It was a piece of cardboard with pictures of the figures on it, but not the figures themselves, and it folded into a diorama.
Oh, and you'd collect them and then you'd put them on the...
And you'd basically pay for the figures up front from Kenner, and then when they had them made, they'd mail them out to you, so then you could have them displayed, but like you had to buy the early bird box.
That seems evil considering this would be for kids.
But they didn't expect Star Wars to be a hit, so they didn't do any merchandising. The only thing that really had merchandising up to that point was Planet of the Apes, which was obviously commercially successful, or the first one was anyway. And the other ones, even though they were cheap, they didn't do very much money. They still did enough to make a profit, and they made a lot of money off merchandise and stuff. But anything up to that point was, Planet of the Apes. So when Star Wars came out, it was like, oh my God, we've got to make toys. And then they dropped the ball again 2 years later in '79 when they made an 18-inch Alien for kids, for a film kids couldn't even see, going, oh, this will be like the new sci-fi hit, not knowing what a repugnant, gross, horrible film Alien was going to turn out to be. They just went ahead and made like the Alien.
And thank God they did.
Still one of the best toys ever if you can find one, folks. It's if you press the back of the head, the jaws shoot out. It's a great toy.
Terrifying. Everyone should have one.
But no, we'll return tomorrow, of course, with episode 17, minutes 32 to 34. We're going to get a bit more dialogue, a bit more Mrs. Exposition about this film, and more confusing flashbacks with young Kyle Reese and Genesis.
It is very Google-like.
Until then, thank you for listening. Please follow us on Facebook. If you want to watch the clips we're talking about as we talk about them, go to YouTube, 2 Minute Terminator, where you can see the clip. And Ellie, if you like the Terminator page, you can see a wealth of clips and,
pictures
that go way back, toys, etc. It's a great page. Invite your friends. You should like it too. And also write us a lovely review on iTunes. Give us a star review and say something nice about the show. It does help the show grow. Until then, Ellie.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Watch out for machines. They're unstoppable. Watch out for machines. I'll be back.